Come on. All right. Morning, everybody. Hey, I'm just cruising around this morning, looking for some interesting news, and I've been following this Rebel News thing they're doing here in Davos. Did a live on it yesterday, but this is really incredible journalism. I am like blown away and floored that this is actually happening, and people are getting called out. Greta Thunberg got called out. I was watching that earlier. This is something interesting. This kind of shows you like how the deep state media actually works. Like, what are they doing here? Are they reporting on Davos, or are they getting marching orders? So I'm gonna go brew a cup of coffee here, and I'm cruising on Twitter here. If you guys aren't on Twitter, it's been interesting lately. But check this interaction out.
No filming, please.
Yeah, we can film. We can film.
Yes.
Just having fun this morning, guys. Like nothing monumental. I'm not here to stand on a soapbox or pump my fist. I might end up doing that, but whatever.
It's not me. Not me.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you. Where are you from?
Rebel News.
Yes. But what is your interest? What is your?
What do you mean? I'm covering the news. I'm doing what your bosses are supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Why did he get so upset? What's he so scared about?
No, I'm not scared.
No, you. Your boss. He seemed really scared. He ran in there and called you out.
No, it's just we have to know who is out here.
My name's Avi Yamini. I work for Rebel News.
Yes.
We're reporters. We do what CNBC is supposed to be doing, and he seemed a bit upset that we were asking some questions in the public area outside.
Yeah, if you're here, it's public area. It's no worries. That's private area from here on. So you're doing fine. Wish you a very nice day.
You too. How you doing, sir? Can I ask you what CNBC is doing here? I can't ask you.
No, you can't. I'd rather you didn't put a camera in my face. Thank you.
Really? But you're here as an invited guest and you're an editor for CNBC. Don't you think that's a bit of a conflict of interest?
I'd like you to go away. I haven't agreed to an interview. If you're doorstepping me, like, go away. Seriously, take my camera.
Don't touch the mic.
Get away from me.
You're meant to speak. You're meant to be speaking truth to power. Are you here just to take your marching orders? Is that what you're here for?
Do you want to go away?
Not really. I'm here to
Do you
do
wanna
what
go
you
away?
should be doing.
Yeah? Please take this out of my mouth. I'm going to have you escorted off for security.
All right. Do that. There you go. CNBC.
I just want to say that guy looks really
supposed
happy.
to be doing what he's complaining I'm doing. And now he's calling security to escort me off the premises. Well,
His timeline is riddled with great life decisions. It's completely obvious. Just look at him. Look at his face. He's completely content and happy with what he's fulfilled.
what's the problem?
You're my problem. You've been very rude to me this morning. You haven't asked me anything, so I'd like you to take the camera off me.
I've literally asked you questions politely, which should be your job. That's your job, sir. I'm doing your job. I'm just not getting paid for by Klaus Schwab. You were inside as he walked in a bit upset. What did you hear him say?
I heard him say, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have the exact thing, but he came in sounding quite angry, saying, I'm going to punch him out. Paraphrasing there, he's not that punched out, but, you know, he wanted to hit you. Didn't know it was about you until I came out, and then I heard somebody else complaining about you to your face. That point I realised Avi had a word with him.
Now, you forgot about it when you told me this, but I marked you up a little earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to go back quickly and check if we caught that on audio.
Hopefully we did.
Avi,
You got it?
yep. Ready?
This guy's going to get punched out.
I just got threatened by the head of news and programming of CNBC. Are you
Jackpot.
serious?
That's him there.
And for what? For literally doing what he's supposed
Talking
to do.
to him.
Well, no, I was asking questions politely. That's his job. And he got so angry that I did what his job's supposed to be. That he threatened me. Man, glad you were mic'd up. Well done. CNBC, which
psychoanalysis
is
there.
supposed to be reporting the news, and he's a senior editor. And his problem is I didn't ask his permission to doorstep him, to ask him simple, polite questions. That is literally the problem with the mainstream media right there. They're shocked that I'm here in Davos at the entrance. They're right at the entrance. To what? Not to hold them accountable, not to ask the tough questions. They're not here.
Let's see what else we got today. That one was yesterday. Oh, this one's interesting. Little Greta.
Are you a child actor or an expert? How would you describe yourself?
This is the leading authority on climate change. Here, not giving an opinion on climate change here, but let's just say that if we're going to have experts up there, they should A, take things seriously, and B, know what the hell they're talking about. So you judge for yourself based on this interview.
Ezra Levant here for Rebel News. I'm standing outside the CNBC studio, the same one where the vice president threatened to clock our friend Avi Yamini. Of course, it's where all the VVIPs pop by to give their propaganda message, dutifully transcribed by the media party here.
How dare you?
How dare you?
It is the most important person in the world, according to the World Economic Forum. It is young Greta Thunberg. So we'll see if we can catch a minute of the young lady's time. Greta, how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? How many times did you rehearse it? Because it looked staged. Is it true? How many times did you rehearse your arrest? Greta, how many times did you film your arrest, and why was it staged that way?
Greta, considering you've not spent much time in school, how do you know so much about climate change?
So as a reminder for those tuning in, just tuning in, right now in Davos, Switzerland, the World Economic Forum is meeting. Of course, they're here to discuss how they're going to save the world from us people, and they're going to make decisions on their own without us people, and they're going to fly in their so-called experts on private jets to discuss how to reduce carbon footprints. So that's what this is all about. But Rebel News Australia has been on the ground, exercising and employing actually real journalism and asking real questions and exposing the real hypocrisy and the real unwillingness to actually address the real questions on every side of every issue. And, you know, if we're going to take this mindset, if we're going to trust the authorities or we're going to put the power in their hands, then we should hold them accountable to answer questions. In my opinion.
You want to talk to real journalists. What did you talk? Do you hear in Davos? Was it successful?
Greta, as a real journalist, is climate change as real as your arrest?
Greta, how far are you willing to go? You're willing to break the law.
That's not staged at all.
Will you renounce violence? Will you renounce violence, Greta? Or do you support Antifa? You've worn an Antifa shirt before. Are you in favor of Antifa?
Greta, how did you get here today? What was your climate footprint in traveling here?
What's your plan while you're here, Greta?
How dare you? How dare you, Greta?
What? Will we have a Fridays for Future demo tomorrow here?
Greta, how do you feel about discussing climate change with the delegates here when nearly all of them take private jets? Do you think at least the fact these delegates take private jets is a bad thing against what you believe in?
Let's do that. Let's do it, dude. Seriously.
All of this could be done via Zoom. So surely you should be encouraging all the delegates here, especially the likes of US Special Envoy John Kerry for Special Envoy for Climate Change. Surely you should be saying to these people, you should be doing this via Zoom with a much smaller carbon footprint, surely? Greta, avoid my questions if climate change is a con.
Greta, what do you think about this?
Well, I think that says enough.
Greta, energy prices in Europe have never been higher. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Are you happy that natural gas is so expensive so people can't afford it? Or do you think that's bad?
Greta, it's getting quite cold in Davos. When can I expect some global warming?
Oh no.
They rebranded it. It's climate change
Would you
now.
say you're a child actor? Are you a child actor or an expert? How would you describe yourself?
Greta, are there any climate actions planned whilst you're here with all the other activists?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure people are planning to.
Greta, are you used to gentler questions, or do you ever talk to people who disagree with you? Greta, who was filming your arrest in Germany? Because it looked like you did that in several takes, didn't you? You were posing with the police. He's answering for you. He's answering for you. He said you had an agency. What?
Sometimes I wish I had one. It would be much simpler then.
Well, who was filming you then?
I don't know media.
You don't know who was filming you in Germany? He said he knows. He says it was an agency.
News agency, you idiot.
Do you normally have reporters defending you?
Yeah. It's very likely that the German police and RWE fossil fuel company would stage an arrest.
How many times were you arrested? Because you posed for several times, didn't you?
Sure.
What is your main message to the people who are at the World Economic Forum? What message do you want to portray whilst you're here?
Well, of course, it depends on who you are. Some people are more responsible for this crisis than others. Certainly.
Name
Careful,
names.
because here there are cars.
How come you never protest Saudi Arabia
China.
or Russia? You only protest Western energy. Why have you never criticized Vladimir Putin or OPEC?
Yeah, I have never done that. Never, ever.
Will you do so now? Will you condemn OPEC energy?
Of course not.
Greta, can
Why
you
not?
condemn every single delegate that's come here on a private jet? Surely that's something you should condemn.
You can do it too.
I could do it, but you're the one who has such a strong stance against climate change. And, if it's true, I commend your efforts.
It's what happens when you live by lies and you're not guided by your soul. Weird shit like this happens. You get trapped in your own BS.
But could you condemn them taking private jets to these meetings?
Why won't you condemn private jets? Have you ever been on a private jet even once?
I own 100 private jets.
Have you been on, how about once? Have you ever been on a private jet?
All the time. Yes.
I wonder why you won't answer me in a straight answer.
Greta, do you have any meetings with any people who are here? Any politicians? Any
Find it funny what she
people as
chooses to
you're-
respond to and what she chooses not to respond to.
Depends on how you
If
define
anyone has any idea what the hell that means, put it in the
can you tell us
comments.
who you're having talks to?
Break that down, chop that
No.
up. I know I got some smart people.
Why
out
are you
there.
having secret meetings?
Greta, do you think that in Davos, the big companies here are really interesting by climate change?
Well, I guess all we have to do is see what they do.
Let's get back to those private meetings. Why are you having private meetings? Secret meetings. Who are they having secret meetings with?
People ask questions. Yes, please.
Oh, let other people ask
believe in-
questions.
you believe them?
She'd answer one or two. You could
come on.
start asking.
Fighting the establishment or you're not part of it?
What are you doing?
When it comes to solving things like climate change and heading in a different direction, do you agree with criminal damage caused by groups such as Just Oil in order to get the climate message across? Do you think it is justified?
Are they called Just Oil? That would not be a very good name for.
Sorry, Just Stop Oil.
You
This is your
gotcha.
opportunity right here. You don't seem to be taking it very seriously.
Sorry?
This is your opportunity to stop and tell us what you care about, what you're fighting against. You seem to be joining the establishment, not fighting them anymore. You're not one of them.
One of who?
All the people on the private jets and the helicopters flying in here to tell us how to live our lives.
Yes, because I have many private jets of my own. Yes.
It's okay. I want to move here.
The point being, you have to condemn all of them equally, otherwise it's hypocrisy, right? Huh? I don't see how that's funny.
I don't take anything seriously, so I laugh all the time, so don't take it personally.
Okay.
Greta, where did you learn
That's
everything you know
comforting.
about things like climate change? Where did you learn all that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I knew.
So if you wish you knew, how do you know so much? Surely if you know so much, you would know where you learned all this from, surely.
Who has said that I know so much?
Well, because you are deemed as an expert
You're the
worldwide when it comes to
spokesperson
climate
for
change.
climate
You speak
change.
on global stages when it comes to climate change.
That
And
was kinda
ultimately,
like Bill
some of the
Gates.
things you say lead global policy.
See, now that I think about it, the experts.
If that was the case, then the world would look completely different, I assure you.
Makes sense. Fauci.
What would you like to do to make the world look completely different? That's a fair question, surely.
First, I would like to eat lunch, maybe.
Are you going to be eating bugs to save the planet for this lunch?
I think I'm gonna take. I'll see.
Greta, do you make an opportunity to listen to different
Too early
voices
for
and
hard
opinions that
questions.
differ from your own? Do you try and take challenge on board when it comes to climate?
Sure.
If you want to end fossil fuels, how did you get to Davos today?
I came yesterday. I didn't come today.
How did you travel here?
Several trains.
Oh, that's right.
Civil trains or planes?
I took a private jet, of course.
Took a private jet.
Yes.
I mean, you laugh about this, but surely
She
if it's
jokingly
such
tells
a
the truth.
big issue, it's surely no laughing matter. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to try and get people who don't agree with your message to try and see it from your side of the view and to maybe change their ways, surely?
Yeah, I wish I could tell that to myself sometimes to take things more seriously, but I'm just a young person. I tend to laugh at most things.
Do you regret encouraging young people to miss school?
No. Does anyone have any idea where we are?
No.
We are.
She might be a
Tell
bit
us where you want to
unstable.
go, and I can tell you where it is.
Yes.
Greta, who operates your Twitter account for you? Who operates your Twitter account?
Oh, that's me. That's why it's so bad. I hate.
Are you the only one who does it, or do other people help you?
Unfortunately, I'm the only one.
So no one else works. And all your social media, do you write it, or does a PR agency write it?
It would be much easier if I had a PR agent that would write everything, to be honest.
I think you laugh when you're nervous. Is that right?
Then I would be nervous all the time.
Yep, probably.
Greta, how do you deal with all of this? All people caring about what you have to say, listening what you have to
That
say.
would make me mentally unwell.
Pretty big voice. How do you deal with all of that pressure?
I don't know. It's a bit weird that people seem to care what I think about things so much.
Yeah,
But
it is
you
weird.
love it, don't you? You always put yourself out in the public. So you're not a private person. You love it. You're a celebrity. Are you a celebrity or a child actor? How would you describe yourself?
Who do you count as your chief advisors?
Siemens,
Yeah. Shell, Exxon, yeah.
It's quite something that the media are answering the questions for you. That's amazing.
We're just joking.
Questions again and again.
You're asking the same questions and we get bored. You know?
Yeah.
Not only we, I guess.
Greta, who would you say is the biggest threat to climate change, whether
Compile
that's
a list of
one
all the questions she
person,
gets
an
asked. I bet it's about
organization,
this
or a
long.
country?
Me.
And why would you say you're the biggest threat to climate change? Well, to the world going in a disastrous trajectory towards the world being damaged through climate change. Who do you think is the worst culprit?
Me.
Why you?
Yay!
Is it your hundreds of private jets?
Yes.
Where do you stand on China and their climate carbon footprint?
Yeah, as a climate activist, of course, you love when people emit carbon dioxide. Yeah, that's really our thing.
I mean, Greta, you're not taking this very seriously. This seems to be a big issue to you, unless it's just simply a
It's a
job.
big
in which case,
joke.
line your pockets with lots of money. Surely you'd want to actually have an adult opinion on the likes of China, surely.
The truth will not hide. She's
I have
telling you
opinions
everything you
about
need to
lots
know
of
right
things,
here.
yes.
The way she's all
Could you
this.
share your opinion on China with us?
She's not serious about any of it.
Obviously, I love it when people emit carbon dioxide.
Every time a Western government implements a net zero policy, it's common folk that are suffering, especially in a cost of living crisis. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, it's horrible that people are being affected by by different things, like example, the climate crisis and so on. People are being displaced and losing their lives. It's horrible.
But they can't afford to eat or heat their homes because of the net zero policies.
Yeah, that's definitely why we are experiencing the cost of living crisis. Yes.
I agree. Thank you.
If that's not
You've been
why
here
are we?
before, you've had a big speech that made a proper impact. Do you think it did anything? Did it?
Nobody in
change?
Davos is responsible for the cost of living increase. Nobody.
Well, we can.
Nothing they're
We
doing.
can only
And
see where we are now.
You know, it's not something they want to see happen.
Global emissions of greenhouse gases are still increasing, but we are a movement that is growing.
Yeah, so is my morning shit. That's a movement. It's growing.
Is the movement not turning people off away from your cause?
Sorry?
Is the movement not turning people away from your cause? The tactics that are being employed.
Ingen aning. På tiden säger jag inte.
Do you agree with all the radical tactics people are taking in your name?
I think the only one taking action in my name is me. I hope.
You are the leader of this movement.
Is that activism?
Therefore, would you condemn people taking radical action?
Dude? She's seriously confused, you guys. Like, duh.
Would you encourage people to take democratic action rather than radical action?
To protest is to take democratic action.
Greta, can you condemn everyone who has caused criminal damage in terms of to try and get the point across to fight climate change?
Should be a pretty obvious answer for the climate change guru activist.
Are you?
Russia and China are building more coal-fired power stations. Why should those of us in the West suffer because of net zero when they are not doing their part?
Being weird because it's snow.
Greta, you once stood on a stage and said, "How dare you?" passionately and emotionally, because people weren't doing enough, and now you don't seem to be taking it seriously. Why the sudden change?
But how dare you? How dare you? I don't know.
If you could say one thing to people who oppose you to convince them, what would that be?
Sorry. Max wants to know what all excitement's
Sorry,
about.
If you say one thing to people who oppose you to convince them of your argument, what would it be?
I wouldn't say anything.
That's true activism.
But surely, if you cared about climate change that much, you would surely say something to try and get them to want to do something else about
I do say something,
the way we are going in terms of climate change.
Thank you. This has been a pleasure. We're gonna leave now. We would appreciate if you didn't follow.
Thank you. Thanks, Greta.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Greta Thunberg walking and talking for quite a while with several Rebel News journalists and several mainstream media journalists who sometimes even answered questions for her. They knew the script so well. I think the thing I was struck by, and come here. There's a journalist saying, "We were just correcting you, dude." That tells you about the kind of media that are normally covering Davos. They're narrative enforcers, they're conformists, and they don't ask skeptical questions. But in the case of Greta Thunberg, what was so striking was, as my colleague Callum Smiles pointed out, this is the young woman who stood at the United Nations and said, "How dare you? How dare you?" and mustered her fury. But when she was asked question after question, and I mean legitimate good faith questions, she giggled, she laughed, and in some cases, she said absurd things like, "I have 100 private jets," or "I like coal." And none of it made sense to me other than my realization of who she is, where she's from, what her parents are like, and that she really is a child actor. I think we just learned everything there was to learn about Greta.
The feeling I got from her responses was like, it's obvious what I'm doing. And if you don't get it, that's on you. It was almost like a mockery. All of that response was like a giant mockery. It showed to me is she's very unstable and really, when I talk to people that have zero grounding, zero real purpose in life, that's kind of their response to life. Very, very situational opinions, very situational objectives, and I'm so glad we worried about other things such as image and virtue and what have you, but perception based. So I would say Greta's definitely security based, self-preservation based, but there's a huge element of perception bias within her, would be my guess. Let's see what else we got. Oh, what's on the Twitter scape today? Rebel News. Let's see. What gas got going on? I like Tim Pool. It's good. No profanity here. Not much video to watch. Oh yeah, the Crowder thing. Trying to care. I don't care. Oh, Miss Corinne Jean-Pierre, she's always interesting.
Reproductive health care in the face
I don't
of
even know
these
what this is
attacks.
about, but it's going to be funny.
This Sunday, the president will speak about the fight to secure women's fundamental right to reproductive health care in the face of the.
Wait, have we decided what a woman is? Did I miss that part? Huh. Okay. Guess she's a biologist now.
These attacks. She will talk about what's at stake for millions of women across the country, and most importantly, the need for Congress to codify the protections of Roe into law. This Sunday, the president will speak about the fight to secure.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. That's a, what the hell is that? Slap boxing?
1, 2.
Wow. Alec Baldwin. What's Elon Musk got to say today? Just kind of got back on Twitter. I don't like to scroll social media very much, but I keep my eye on Twitter. I already get kicked off of TikTok again. It seems to be how it works. You get over 10,000 followers on there, and they really just start flagging your shit, and then they'll go back to old videos and picking out old comments. See how they roll. We like this one. Should the World Economic Forum control the world? 2.4 million votes, 86% no. Yet it's weird. They don't really, it's irrelevant. They really don't care what we think. They just do it. That's in the name of anti-fascism, by the way. Let's see, who do I want to look up today? That's Project Veritas rocking. No, I'm not on a call. I'm doing a live. Fine. What do you need?
While you're on it.
Yeah. Do you need a ride?
Xander woke up at 8:31.
Okay. All right. Well, there's so much. All right, guys. Well, it's coffee time's over. I'm going to sign off, take my son to school. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I don't think a lot of people know what's going on Twitter these days, or they do know. And maybe I just got a chance to share some some stuff from Davos with you before anyone else does. But anyway, so I'm out here cruising Twitter anyway, drinking my morning coffee. I figured to share it with y'all. So Yeah, Lisa. Lisa Warren. I saw Rebel News asking Pfizer exec questions and found out very odd he didn't have any security with him. Yeah, I think he did, but I think they were pretty distant because they were allowing reporters to get near him. But yeah, I thought that was weird too. It seemed like pretty darn close access, but I honestly think it was like sabotage, like, or not sabotage. What the hell do you call it? Anyway, it's too early for words. But I think they caught him off guard and caught him by surprise. Like, I think they really have this their own little private world there in Davos, and it's full of their private jets and SUVs while they're telling us how to live. But anyway, I did a live on that yesterday, Lisa. If you want to check it out, it's on my feed. I'm also going to upload that to my Substack, so it's shareable. But I played a clip on there of a little clip, about a minute long clip of him doing an interview with, I think it was CNBC or MSNBC, one of them. Anyway, and just talking about how criminal and evil the anti-vaxxers are, spreading misinformation, and then here was his opportunity to confront those people and to clear the air and to set everyone straight, right? But he just decided to just put his head down and ignore all the truthful allegations that were being thrown his way. And he neither confirm nor deny any of it. And so I think we all know what's going on. It's not hard to see. Anyway, I got to go get my son to school. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy it, and share it if you can. All right. Peace, much love, live well.